And Taiwan as a country is also doing everything it can to attract more businesses. What do the United Kingdom and Paraguay have in common? No, I'm not telling a joke. The two countries are arguably two of the most ardent supporters of Taiwan. Despite the fact that Taiwan is not recognized by any of the member states of the EU, Taiwan and the UK enjoy close ties across the areas of economy, mutual judicial assistance, tourism, trade, and transportation. British members of the European Parliament have demonstrated fervent support for Taiwan's GATT and WTO membership over the years, which resulted in Taiwan's admission. And the ongoing battle for Taiwan's free trade agreement and bilateral investment agreement with the European Union. On the other hand, Paraguay is the only country in South America that has no formal diplomatic relations with Beijing. Even when Taipei lost its seat in the United Nations to Beijing in 1976 and became isolated in the international community, Paraguay firmly stood by Taiwanese friends and did not switch sides. But many fear that the support from these two countries may gradually weaken or even come to an end completely. Maybe that's why President Tsai Ing-wen said that Taiwan and the UK should prioritize concluding a free trade or bilateral investment agreement to inject fresh impetus into the economy and, more importantly, deepen bilateral relations.
Due to Taiwan's very special international status and also with respect to not just the external and sometimes internal pressure and conflicts, I think it would be not that easy for the time being for Taiwan to actually conclude any bilateral deal. And I think the most beneficial deal so far that we can think of will be U.S. and Taiwan bilateral investment agreements, because recently there are many big brand companies such as Foxconn, such as TSMC, have been planning to invest in United States.
In addition to the U.S. market, last year, Taiwan was the UK's 8th largest trading partner in the Asia-Pacific, and the value of trade and service exports to Taiwan reached $2.47 billion, the second highest in history. In addition, the UK is currently Taiwan's 5th largest source of foreign direct investment, with cumulative investment reaching over $7.6 billion. About 300 British companies are now operating in Taiwan. And at the same time, the UK was Taiwan's 3rd largest export destination in Europe, and the UK now attracts the most of Taiwan's direct investment in the EU, attracted $1.7 billion investment, which accounts for 67.7% of Taiwanese investment in Europe, and over 180 Taiwanese companies have operations in the country. While the government hopes that Taiwan could benefit greatly from free trade agreement or similar deals, some observers think that for now it carries more symbolic significance than real substances.
I wouldn't say there will be any concrete benefit for the time being. I would say that it's more of a symbolic gesture, and it will also probably help Taiwan to explore the potential benefits.
On the other hand, although Paraguay's friendship with Taiwan seems unshakable, there are some looming challenges facing the two countries and endanger the relations between Taiwan and Paraguay. And these challenges are mainly posed by Beijing's rapidly growing economic and political influence in South America. For example, in recent years, investors and entrepreneurs from China have already replaced Taiwanese companies and become one of the Paraguay's major foreign investors, while the volume of trade between Taiwan and Paraguay only stood at less than $50 million last year. And the trade volume between Paraguay and China already jumped to a staggering $1.1 billion during the same time period last year. Based on existing economic and political conditions between the two countries, the deepening of the bilateral relations in the form of trade agreement is believed to be necessary, even though that means that we have to open up our market and make some compromises based on the principle of reciprocity.
To compromise or sacrifice is a very strong term, and also maybe for the short term, And if we look at the free trade agreements around the world, I think bringing in competition is not necessarily a bad thing. For example, like the 1970s, New Zealand opened up its agriculture sector, and because of bringing in competition now, New Zealand's agriculture sector has been very resilient and competitive.
That's why many observers propose a joint feasibility study on an FTA or BIA to be undertaken as the first step. Then we should recognize the potential and urgency to expand greater cooperation in new areas such as offshore wind power, digital communications, and smart cities between Taiwan and the UK. Otherwise, I should say besides, developing a new sustainable strategy is also of paramount importance if we don't want to repeat so-called money diplomacy in Latin America, listing priorities for substantive cooperation based on mutual interest, identifying major and emerging trading partners. We want to seize the opportunities and push for the strongest possible links with all important partners around the world, of course, including the UK and Paraguay.